Deranged white conservatives doing all they can to turn Charlie Kirk into a saint. Of course, he was shot and killed last month, speaking in Utah. Now in Florida, a Republican state rep wants every public university to rename certain campus roads after Kirk. Yeah. Kevin Steele's bill would also withhold state funding from any university that does not comply within 90 days of the law's passage. Not happening just in Florida. Similar bills are popping up across the country as part of a wave of memorial efforts for Kirk. Yeah. Florida State Senator Shevrin Jones joins us right now. I'm glad to have you on the show. This is just insane. This particular bill, you know, what they want to do and say, oh, universities do not comply, we're going to pull funding. I'm sorry, Charlie Kirk is not worthy of a memorial on every public university campus in Florida or anywhere else in this country.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first, Roland, yeah, I'm gonna say like my nephews say it. I always say to tell the state of Florida to stop capping. I'll tell you why. Yeah, the Representative Steele filing this bill and not even having a Senate companion yet. But I do know Florida very well, and so I know that now that the bill has been filed, eventually something probably will come. But the Senate president has told us that he does not want a culture war, and it's no secret that this is an absolute overreach. And for decades, the universities have made their own naming decision. Nobody from Tallahassee or the governor's office have ever stepped into this process. And I've been in this process for 13 years. Now, suddenly, they want to force institutions to name roads after Charlie Kirk. And just clear it's not policy. And I'll be honest with you, it's absolute political theater. And so let's be clear. Yeah, that we've made it clear in the Democratic caucus, and we said it today, even in the press conference, that violence is never acceptable, and we should all condemn it. But dying violently doesn't erase a man's record. Charlie Kirk, as we know, he built a career off of the race baiting, off of mocking black folks, and off of spreading division. Now, here's what I will say, Roland. As a FAMU graduate, it is an absolute slap in the face to the #1 HBCU within this country. So now you're telling that if we don't name a particular role after Charlie Kirk, now we risk getting funding. And so, yes, as a proud graduate, I mean, the names of those roles that are on FAMU's campus, now that you want us to change, they honor the people who built that legacy through the blood, sweat, and tears. People who made sure students like me could walk those grounds with pride. And so I can tell you that we're going to fight like hell in the Senate because we met with we're meeting with the Senate president as not just as the Black Caucus, but as a Democratic caucus, because we were able to stop a lot of these bills last year. And we are going to try to do the same this session. The problem is if Donald Trump gets into the ear of the leadership of these chambers, the game is over. They're going to push this all the way through and as far as they can.
Yeah, and so now the question is, will MAGA presidential appointee Marva, the woman who's president of Florida A&M, is she going to have the courage to tell them, y'all, that is not a good idea on my campus?
Well, Roland, I don't know if you heard, but you see that I'm sure you know that you have this Brexit that's about to go across the country to HBCU homecomings, and they'll be here at Florida A&M on the 17th. I have not spoken to President Johnson as of yet, but I do know, and I don't know if you all remember, but a year before last, in the bill that was filed, which was the Stop Woke Act, it prevented that any institution that stops any diverse conversations of happening on their college campus, you are now in violation of the law. And so the question now becomes, if these universities push back on this, are they violating the law? And I could be honest with you, the Student Government Association president and the faculty and staff at Florida A&M University, they have now gotten wind of this and have made the clarion call to the legislature to make it clear that they do not want this on their campus. And I'm hoping that President Johnson, where I sit on her transition team, and I'm sure that this is a conversation that we would love to engage in. And what does this look like in us moving forward with this type of legislation on a predominantly Black campus when we know what this man has said about Black people and more particularly Black women?
Well, certainly in the case of this Florida bill, they're talking about a street in Oklahoma. This guy literally wants a memorial plaza on every state campus, and that would include Langston University.
But Roland, I think we need to understand what's happening right now. Yeah, I call these fight picking bills. Although real, these are fight picking bills because they don't want to talk. I mean, I just listened to your last segment, and the last segment is absolutely true as it pertains to an affordability crisis that we're having here. We look at what's happening in Florida. Florida has the highest car insurance rates in the country, where people already can't afford their property insurance, but yet and still we're filing a bill when it comes to Charlie Kirk, someone who would not give a damn about or would not spit on me if I was on fire. And now we're talking about this being the top of our legislative session that starts in January when people can't even damn live. Come on, I think, and if I share with our leading caucus, our chair this past week, is that we have to start doing, as you just said, start hitting them on the affordability issues. Stop playing patty cake with these Republicans because they are not coming to this fight just fighting with fire. They are coming with big guns, and we need to be doing the same and fight fire with fire. The time out for playing nice. I think we need to go in guns blazing this legislative session because they're coming. They're coming for it because this is a legislative year, and surprise, surprise, the polling is down in Florida.
Julian, it really is some silly stuff that we're seeing these folks do, but they want the culture war. They want this battle.
More so than the economic war, Roland. That's the issue. This man came in here saying, I'm going to fix the economy. I'm going to fix the economy. He did not fix the economy. Instead, he's waded in the waters of a culture war. How dare they? If every Florida university had to name something, they ought to name it after Rosewood. There'd be a Rosewood Avenue. Rosewood Drive, to talk about what happened to black people in Rosewood. Instead, this fool and his minions, who all drink some kind of weird Kool-Aid, are saying every state university in Florida should name something after Charlie. Who was Charlie Kirk? Why do we want to name stuff after him? Why do we want to canonize a man who said that black women were stupid, that we did not have the mental capacity to do anything? I mean, every time I think about it, I first get angry and then I get resilient. But I first get, because it's like drinking out of a damn, excuse my language, water hose. You drink out of water, every day they have some stupidity that they're doing with Pam Bondi, with her, I mean, forgive my ignorance, but do they have like a clone factory where all these white women get their lips pumped up and the hair extended? I'm just asking. I don't know the answer to that, but they all look alike. They look like Melania. That's another story.
It's all, Rebecca, at the end of the day, this is a part of the strategy. And listen, what we talk about this stupid ass Blexit coming to campus, what they want is they want the moments to go viral. Hey, I think here to me is what happens. You have Florida State, so you have Florida A&M, or any of the HBCU. Mm-hmm. You completely ignore them, literally. You tell students, totally ignore them. Walk right past them. You ignore them because what they want, when those white boys went to Tennessee State, they wanted the reaction. That's what they desired. Then they can go on all these conservative talk shows and podcasts, raise money, and trash these HBCUs. You ignore them. That's what you do.
This isn't the first time this type of cabal tried to show up on campuses and target HBCUs. And guess what? We didn't really hear anything out of it. I don't think this is going to be anything different. I think they're trying to sensationalize things. I think they're trying to get attention. Like you said, it's for clicks and views. But talking about the renaming of things, here's the thing about Black folks. For us, joy is resistance, resilience and rest is also resistance. But here's one thing that I know when it comes to naming conventions, we're going to call a thing what we're going to call it, regardless what somebody else says, which is why over half of us have nicknames and no one knows us by our government names, or the reason why we call all facial tissue Kleenex, regardless of the brand. At the end of the day, we're going to do what we want.
Roland, here's what I'll tell you. It took them 7 years. We voted for a slave memorial 7 years ago. It took them 7 years for them to put that slave memorial up. It just got up 2 months ago. And it's amazing to me that for 7 years, you're saying that if you don't put up a damn sign in 90 days, you lose your state funding. Now talk about that. And let's talk about where's the fairness in that. It never existed in the state of Florida.
Indeed, indeed.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase, and I'm here with a very important message. We are at a turning point in the Black community where we must have equity in the apps we use that scale to billions of dollars. But this time, we own the infrastructure, we own the culture, and we shape the future. And Fanbase is the future. Fanbase combines the free functionality of Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube into an all-in-one platform built for the evolution of social media and monetization. With over 1.4 million users, that's real proof that we are shifting the conversation of tech ownership and equity for creators. So right now, I want you to go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. The minimum to invest is $399. That gets you 60 shares of stock in Fanbase at $665 a share. This marks a turning point in Black ownership of social media. If we don't take this opportunity to own social media right now, we will always be customers to our own creations. And that can't go on. So once again, go to startengine.com/fanbase and invest today. We must own the platforms where our voices live, our stories matter, and where our culture drives the world. Thank you.